these labs are certified under the CLIA, which is managed by CMS. What this is, there are federal labs that are under the purview or the auspices. There are labs that are under the purview of the auspices of the federal government of the U.S. And then there are labs that are set up in this state that are under the auspices of our statutory provisions in this state. This just brings them all together. And Senator Newton has had and done a lot of work on this amendment and the immunity provision in the bill. So if the chair would like to recognize him for additional remarks, it would be appreciated.
Okay, thank you, Senator Rabin. The chair will acknowledge Senator Newton to address any additional information. Senator Newton.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I thought that was a great explanation. This simply clarifies our intent to cover those types of clinical laboratories. Examples for the members that they would recognize would be LabCorp, Quest Diagnostics. So I do also believe this is an amendment that should be supported. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Senator Newton and Senator Rabin. Any discussion on this amendment, members? Hearing none, Senator Rabin moves that we accept amendment number S704, A as in Apple, N as in Nancy, Bravo -22, version 6. All those in favor of the amendment? All those in favor of the amendment, let it be known by saying aye. All opposed, like sign. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. To the opinion of the chair. Hearing none, we will move to amendment number 4. Okay. Members that are present in this room, if you want to be heard, turn on your mics, please. It'll be recorded. Okay. Now we'll move to amendment number 4. S is in Sam 704, A is in Apple, N is in Nancy, B is in Bravo -21, version 6. Senator Rabin, I recognize you to explain the amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members again. As you know, we've had massive shortages of PPE and other essential tools needed to fight COVID-19. And we have asked anyone who is able to produce these things to help us make up the shortages. This amendment would extend limited immunity to those entities that have answered the call to manufacture, produce, or distribute PPE, testing equipment, ventilators, or process COVID-19 testing results. As we go forward, I believe this provision will encourage these entities to help out further without the fear of being sued for their efforts. Again, Senator Newton is very well versed on this, and Mr. Chairman, you may want to again call on him for his expertise.
Okay. Thank you, Senator Rabin, and the chair will call upon Senator Newton to further elaborate.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do think that this amendment is an opportunity for us to express a very important public policy that in times of crisis, when entities, governmental, nonprofit, and for-profit step up to fill a void in the midst of that crisis, they should, later be punished for doing so through lawsuits. And the next time we have a crisis, we certainly want these entities and others to step up to help our community, to help our state, and not be sitting on the sidelines for fear of liability. So very quickly, businesses, examples of businesses would be the parachute maker that began making masks instead of parachutes. Everyone was so appreciative of that. We don't want a situation where in hindsight, somebody says, oh, we thought those were N95 masks and they weren't, so we're going to sue you. In terms of educational institutions, we have East Carolina, North Carolina State University, UNC Chapel Hill, UNC Charlotte, Western Carolina. They are all producing masks and shields for the good of the public. And again, we want them to be able to step up and do that without fear of litigation reprisals. And there are other examples if any of the members want them, but you have heard the gist of this, and I think it's very important in terms of setting the tone for public policy in North Carolina during times of crisis, and I do urge support. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Senator Newton and Senator Rabin. Any questions upon the amendment? Discussion?
Senator Robinson, Mr. Chair, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am, Senator Robinson.
Yeah, Senator Newton, I want to make sure that this is pertaining to those that we approve or solicit help from. You know, a lot of folks are developing PPs and all kinds of stuff that don't meet qualifications or don't meet criteria for safety. So is this just to protect those that the state is requesting to develop those?
Senator Newton, would you like to respond?
Yes, Senator Robinson, I don't think that would be a way to cut it because, you know, the call for help went out wide and deep for folks to step up and provide masks, even though they weren't N95 masks, but masks, you know, that people are using around here at the legislature, for example, that may not be N95, but they're helpful. So I don't think we're going to try to make that decision up front. It's important to recognize that this bill would not protect against gross negligence, reckless misconduct, or intentional infliction of harm. So if we have a situation where there's a mask manufacturer that's representing that mask to be something it is not, this bill would not prevent them from having exposure for civil lawsuits. And I should have mentioned, Mr. Chairman, that this is, to the extent I've had a chance to explain this to Senator Blue, Senator Fitch, and to a lesser extent, Senator Lowe, this is a friendly amendment in that they agreed with the principle and the words we're using to get there.
A follow-up, Mr. Chair.
Yes, ma'am, Senator Robinson.
And Senator Newton, I appreciate, and all of you, I appreciate the need and how our businesses, et cetera, have stepped up to say they can help. And those are businesses in our state and our universities that do excellent jobs, and we support them and we want their help. However, I am concerned about those folks who just suddenly appear on the scene and say, oh, I can make all of this for you, and it does not meet specifications. So I would really suggest that there is some process by which people have to send in their information to the emergency management system or somebody to say, this is who we are and this is what we can make. And there's some way to do a check and balance on those. We cannot be too careful with what we're doing now. So I would, you know, I'm not sure I'll support this, and you don't need my support to get it through, but I do have that as a concern.
Thank you, Senator Robinson. Senator Newton, do you want to respond?
Just quickly, Senator Robinson, your concern is valid, and I think Director Sprayberry has in his process to test the validity, the efficacy of the PPP he's receiving before he uses that. So I think what you're concerned about is being taken care of through the normal procurement supply chain process. But that's my belief, and we could certainly check with the director if you'd like to.
Okay.
Members, let me just make an announcement right quick. The amendments that you're going, pardon me, that we're going through is on the committee's website now. So you can actually get a PDF from there. And then that's what you want. Okay. All right. So I have Senator Smith. Thank you, Senator Robinson, for your questions, and Senator Newton for the responses. I have Senator Smith with a question. Senator Smith. Senator Smith. Okay. I've got Senator Smith's question here in front of me. Does the amendment negate?
Sorry,
other-
I was having a hard time unmuting, Mr. Chair. Yes, I believe that my question was asked and answered by Senator Robinson. Just wanted to ensure further clarification that the normal and standard consumer protections will be in place
Okay,
with the provision of this amendment.
bear with us just a moment, Senator Smith, because we were having a hard time hearing you. Could you repeat that again, please?
Can you hear me now?
It's a little better. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so
Oh, hold on a minute, Senator Smith. Did you hear it, Senator Newton? Okay, Senator Newton heard it, so he can answer you. He's going to respond to your question.
Okay, thank you.
Senator Smith, if I understood your question, the answer would be that in this context of COVID-19 crisis relief, gross negligence, reckless misconduct, intentional infliction of harm, which are standard protections, would still remain in place. If you had facts and circumstances where you could show that those standards of care were violated by those who volunteered to help, volunteered to make masks, they would still be responsible under those standards of care. All this does is essentially, it takes away simple negligence. Think about it as an honest mistake. Somebody's
Okay.
making a mask, their elastic broke and it opened, and it wasn't effective because the elastic was, through no fault of the manufacturer, wasn't as strong as they thought it would be. That's an honest mistake. This would protect that manufacturer from that type of honest mistake. So that simple negligence claim, they would be immune from, but anything more severe than that, they would not be.
Okay, thank you. That answered my question.
Thank you, Senator Smith. Thank you, Senator Newton, for the response. We have a question from Senator Daniel for you, Senator Newton. Senator Daniel?
Yes, so Senator Newton, I guess I can only see the top of the amendment, but it looks like this would apply to all essential businesses. I mean, we've used PPE manufacturers as an example, but is it accurate that it would apply to all essential businesses?
So the essential business, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, Senator Newton.
The essential business provision is unchanged. That's as it was in the bill. This proposed amendment, applies to emergency response entities, which are defined as businesses, not-for-profit organizations, educational institutions, and governmental entities that manufacture, produce, or distribute personal protective testing equipment or ventilators or process COVID-19 testing results. So we are really trying to extend the protections you'd find for essential businesses to emergency response entities. People who really stepped up in the time of crisis, did the very best they knew how to help us get the PPE manufactured and provided that we needed.
Follow up, Senator Daniel, or is that sufficient?
No, I think I can't see everything on the screen, so I'll go to the committee website and I'll read it there.
Okay, thank you. Other questions? Any more? We don't appear to have anyone else asking any questions on this particular amendment. So Senator Rabin moves for a favorable report on amendment number Senate S as in Sam 704-A as in Apple, N as in Nancy, B as in Bravo -21 version 6. All those in favor of the amendment, let it be known.
Just 2 times out of the monthly number it came up.
Aye.
So if I get the Republican majority leader, it's going to be less than 2.5 times. So
Amendment.
8 weeks is slightly, obviously less.
That might make her look moderate.
I'm hearing no no's, so in the opinion of the chairs, the
Register one, but I couldn't hear.
I want to get that.
A reservation, so I'm registering.
According to them, it's your own, if I was making
this amendment, please say
10,000 a month, well, let's just say I was making 10,000 a month. I was like arguably one client that was just 2,000 a month. And I was,
in the opinion of the chair, the amendment has passed. Any discussion on my opinion? Hearing none, the amendment has passed. Thank you. move to number 5.
I watched Lowe preach his sermon Sunday.
Can you remind everybody to mute their phones? I hear other conversations that are interfering with.
Okay, we're still working this technical stuff out. Y'all. Bear with us.
It's noisy, you can't hear.
Okay, amendment number 5 is Senator Ballard's. It is S as in Sam 704-A as in Apple, M as in Mary, V as in Violet -43 version 4. Senator Ballard.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to move to amend the bill. These are changes to page 18. You'll see it up on your screen. The first is just a clarifying change, basically saying that's 190 instructional days, including 5 remote learning days instead of a plus or in addition to 5 remote learning days. So there'd be 190 total, including the 5. The next point is really just making a technical wording correction from to include the following to in accordance with the following. And then the last change is really another technical correction from June 11th, 2020 to June 11th, 2021. And that's it. And I'd ask for your support.
Okay, members, any questions on the amendment? Hearing none. All those in favor of the amendment, S is in Sam 704-A is in Amy, M is in Mary, V is in Violet -43 version 4, let it be known by saying yes.
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 Actually reflecting the actual impact, because to your point, you're just acknowledging you're getting some impact.
In the chair, the motion is passed. Any the opinion of the chair? Hearing none, we will move to amendment number 6, and the motion is passed. Amendment number 6 is Senator Kravitz. S is in Sam 704, A is in Amy, N is in Nancy, B is in Bravo -26 version 1. Senator Kravitz, please explain your amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My amendment moves to amend the bill on page 4, line 13, by deleting the phrase Department of Health and Human Services and substituting the phrase Department of Public Safety, and to amend the bill on page 4, lines 23 and 24, by inserting the following between the lines: D, State Highway Patrol, E, North Carolina National Guard. And Mr. Chairman, just for a brief explanation, this is just transferring that PPE allocation directly to the Department of Public Safety, so that they can allocate to the resources that are there, the 4 entities, and we're adding these 2 as well.
Okay, thank you, Senator Kravitz. Any discussion on this amendment? Hearing none. All those in favor of the amendment, S is in Sam 704-Amy, Nancy, Bravo -26 version 1, let it be known by saying yes.
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 Yeah, that's helpful.
All opposed, let it be known.
Well, thank you, Judd. I appreciate it. We'll circle up here soon.
There are a lot of folks asking for amendments.
Hearing no no's in the opinion of the chairs, the motion is passed. Any objection to the opinion of the chair? Hearing none, the motion is passed, and we will move to amendment number 7. This is Senator McInnes's amendment, excuse me. Senate, S is in Sam 704, A is in Apple, S is in Stanley, U as in University -63 version 2. I don't think I will make a good air pilot controller. So, Senator McInnes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And first, I want to thank our central staff for their hard work on this bill and the transportation central staff for the work on this section and this amendment. This amendment adds a couple of items, more than a couple, just a handful, to the list of DMV deadline extensions that were found by our central staff team that we feel need to be included. We've run these inclusions by DOT and DMV, and they are fine with them. They include a limited learner's permit and provisional license, commercial learner's permit, transportation network company license, wholesaler's license, professional house mover's license, driver training school license, and driver training school instructor permit. The second piece extends driving eligibility certificates, which is administered by a state school and requires for a student who drives below the age of 18 to show they're in good standing with the school. Those are extended 30 days prior to the governor's executive order number 116 and valid for 30 days after the executive order is rescinded. They're valid for only 30 days. And because of the closure of many of the DMV offices across the state and the school system, we felt this was a way to ensure these students that did what they needed to do are not inadvertently penalized. I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you, Senator McInnes. Any discussion on this amendment? Okay. Hearing none. S is in Sam 704, A is in Apple, U is in University -63, version 2. Senator McInnes moves to approve the amendment.
Say shit about it.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Hearing none, the opinion of the chair, the motion is passed. Any disagreement with the chair? Hearing none, we will move to amendment number 7. And I thank y'all for working with us and being patient. I really appreciate it. Amendment number 8 is by Senator Britt. S is in Sam 704-A is in Apple, N is in Nancy, D is in David -30, version 1. Senator Britt.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and committee. I move to amend the bill on page 6, line 33. All we're doing here is adding community corrections in there, and then in the line 6, Division of Adult Correction and Juvenile Justice, so that we can capture the probation parole folks as well. And that would not affect the total spend in that paragraph.
Okay. Thank you, Senator Britt. Discussions on the amendment. Okay. Hearing none, Senator Britt moves to
In terms of a
with amendment number S is in Sam 704-A is in Nancy, D is in David -1. All those in favor of known by saying yes.
Yes.
All say no.
Members, let me just make my note. Marty Cotis, he's on the
Mr.
board.
Chair,
Governor.
Come on, readiness is the amendment.
The chair, the motion has passed. Any objection to the opinion of the chair?
electronic meetings, I've got my staff in there. I mean, they're trying to sit.
Amendment number 9.
Mr. Chairman.
Amendment number 9 is Senator Lowe's. S is in Sam 704, A is in Apple, N is in Nancy, B is in Bravo -25, version 4. Senator Lowe.
Okay, what this amendment sought to do is just to protect those persons that are on the front line giving healthcare services.
Oh, Senator Lowe, hold 1 second. Will, I'm being told that this amendment is not it. I'm sorry, Senator Lowe. Hold 1 second. Right here. 104 A and B. Okay, we're showing it is up. Okay, continue, sir.
Okay, what this amendment does is just change from disaster treatment or emergency to COVID-19 testing. And the whole idea was to make sure that those persons on the front line that are doing these services could not be sued if the testing didn't go the way they thought it should go. And we wanted to make sure that they were well protected. And we had some discussion with Senator Newton and Senator Fitch on this amendment. I hope that you will support it. Thank you.
Okay. Senator, thank you, Senator Lowe. Senator Newton.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Senator Lowe, I think I know it was moving quickly earlier, but I think we concluded that testing is already included in the bill, so there's protection there. And we were going to withdraw this amendment, make sure we had our ducks in a row, and then the next time the General Assembly met, to the extent we've missed something, we would get that back in, or even in conference with the House bill as soon as that.
That will be fine.
Okay, thank you.
So Senator Lowe, am I understanding you that to withdraw the amendment? Okay, your withdrawal is approved by the chair, so noted. Thank you, Senator Lowe. Amendment number 10 is by Senator Robinson. S is in Sam 704, A is in Apple, N is in Nancy, B is in Bravo -23 version 3. Senator Robinson. Senator Robinson?
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
You're welcome.
This amends the bill on page 4, line 14, in the area where we discussed PPEs, and Senator Kravick has already indicated that responsibility is being transferred to DPS. And instead of, it just changes the language just to say at their discretion to include these entities, but not limited to just those, because there may be hospice and some other entities that may need them as well. So it's a simple amendment to give broader authority. And I recommend your support of that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Senator Robinson. Do we have discussion on this amendment? I understand Senator Kravick has been asked to speak. Senator Kravick?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would ask that you vote against this bill. We spent a lot of time trying to identify the entities that needed PPE and were not able to get it through the crisis at some point. So I would ask that you vote against this amendment.
Okay. Discussion?
Follow up, Mr. Chair.
Yes, ma'am, Senator Robinson.
Thank you. And I did discuss this with Senator Kravick, and I don't think you indicated you had objections to this piece, Senator Kravick, the other one. The department is saying that there have been requests from entities like hospice. There are some that do medical care that need PPEs that may not be in this list. But if we confine it to this list, then it limits their ability to be able to give it to those other entities that also need them. And, you know, if we trust DPS to make that decision in terms of giving them out, we should trust their experience and their knowledge in terms of those healthcare entities that also need protection.
Senator Kravick? Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Senator Robinson. I understand that, but DHHS will continue to have an ample supply, we hope, an ample supply of PPE, and they will be making those distributions. We were just trying to allocate some additional funds strictly for PPE for these entities that are mentioned in our bill. So that was the purpose in that. DHHS will still be distributing a majority of the PPE, certainly a lot of it, and they've already gotten quite a big supply from the federal government in some in their Project Airbridge and through FEMA. So you know we hope that we won't have a shortage again, but this is just a guarantee that these entities will be able to get what they need as well. But DHHS will still be allocating the PPE to all the other entities that you're concerned about.
Just a final comment, Mr. Chair.
Yes, ma'am, Senator Robinson.
Really kind of disappointed because Senator Kravick and I have worked together on some issues, and this wasn't one that I thought that caused a serious divide. I do think that my limited knowledge of healthcare does indicate that there are other entities that need these PPEs to protect the people of this state. So I'll make that my final comment, but I am disappointed with that.
Okay, Senator Robinson, do you want to withdraw this motion, or do you want it to go on and be voted on?
No, I want it to be voted on.
Okay, very good. Okay, any other discussions on amendment S as in Sam 704, A as in Apple, N as in Nancy, B as in Bravo -23, version 3? Hearing none, Senator Robinson moves that we amend the bill. All those in favor of the amendment, let it be known by saying yes.
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 All those,
Aye.
all those opposed to the amendment, let it be known by saying no.
No.
Call for division, Mr. Chair.
We do not have division in the opinion of the chair. The noes have the, on this amendment, Senator Robinson.
We don't have divisions.
Not in the Senate. I'm scared to ask. Anybody disagree with the chair on this one?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. So noted. Hold on, folks. Hold on. We got a technical glitch. Will said he was not able to unmute everyone at the same time. We're going to do this over. Senator Robinson moves to amend the bill with amendment number S as in Sam 704 -A as in Apple, N as in Nancy, B as in Bravo -23, version 3. All those in favor of this amendment, let it be known by saying yes.
Yes. Yes.
All opposed to the amendment, let it be known by saying no.
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 In the opinion of the chair, the noes have it. Hearing no objection other than that, this motion fails. Amendment number 11, Senator Robinson. S is in Sam 704, A is in Apple, N is in Nancy, B is in Bravo -24, version 5. Senator Robinson, to explain your amendment, please.
There was some,
Hold on, Senator Robinson. You were muted.
again.
Please explain your amendment.
Okay, this amendment had to do with some reporting, and I did talk to Senator Kravik, and there was some disagreement in terms of the need for some reporting. So I'm going to pull this amendment in deference to that discussion.
Thank you, Senator Robinson. We will so move that it will be withdrawn. Okay, Senator Robinson also moves to amend the bill with amendment number S as in Sam 704, A as in Amy, M as in Mary, K as in Karen -86, version 5. Senator Robinson.
Okay, thank you again, Mr. Chair. This amendment amends the bill on page 6, line 17, by increasing the amount by $3 million. And this is not an increase in money overall. This was requested by Duke University School of Medicine. And what it does is moves the $3 million that was in on page 7, lines 23 through 24, to page 6, lines 18 to 19, where there's a sum of $15 million appropriated to Duke University for developing of a countermeasure neutralizing antibodies for COVID-19, which would make that amount there $18 million, but it is not an increase in the total amount given to Duke University.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman.
Senator Brown.
Senator Robinson, when I saw this amendment, I didn't have a problem at first, but I said, you know, I probably should call the collaboratory and just talk to them. So I did. So I called over there, and they said, first, you do know Duke's getting 15 million. We carved out 15 million for Duke already. And of this other 15 million that you want to take the 3 million from, Duke is going to get some of this money as well. The concern the collaboratory had, if you just take it without them just going through the process, there's a good chance you're going to hurt NCA&T and some some of the smaller universities by taking this money off the top. And I don't think you want to do that. After talking to him, I just don't think I can support this amendment, because I think you're going to hurt the smaller entities and, continue to help the big boys. And I don't think that's what we really want to do.
So Senator Brown.
Senator Robinson, would you like to respond, please?
Yes, I want to displace it because this was a direct request with the assumption from Duke that they had $3 million in that other pot, Senator Brown. So it was their request in terms of doing that. So let me do some additional follow-up on that. And if we can displace the amendment, Mr. Chair.
I had to stop.
Mr. Chair, if I could.
Senator Brown?
You're right,
Yeah,
Senator
I
Robinson.
mean, we do some stuff with that, but it's not the same.
Senator Robinson, out of that 15 million.
I want to Zoom.
Senator Brown, Senator Robinson, hold on. We're getting some feedback here.
The teacher I have, he's good, and he really helps me a lot. But he's like the director of a program, the evening program or adult program.
Senator Lowe is talking.
Yeah, we know.
So he's trying to encourage.
I think he's talking on the telephone outside the committee room.
Senator Robinson, what I was going to say is,
It was supposed to be
out of the 15 million, Duke may get more than 3 million. It just depends on how I think the collaboratory sees the best use of those dollars. So check into it, but I did call over there and talk to them because I didn't have a problem with the amendment, but I just decided I better call over to be sure. And they told me they felt like it could hurt A&T and some of the smaller entities if you do this.
Okay. Well, we'll pull it, Mr. Chair, and do some further investigation.
Okay, thank you, Senator Robinson. I'm putting it down as withdrawn.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm sorry for the confusion there with the back feed. Okay, amendment number 13 is offered by Senator Chaudhry. It's S as in Sam, 704, A as in Amy, L as in Larry, M as in Mary, -16, version 1. Senator Chaudhry.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This amendment is a amendment that was requested by the North Carolina Department of State Treasurer. It is a very minor tweak that essentially changes the dates to allow it changes the dates to produce more useful information both to the Treasurer's Office and the General Assembly. As I mentioned in our earlier meeting, it simply inserts a time period from July 1st, 2019 to December 31st, 2019. So it allows for comparisons of various different financial informations for the local government commission, including tax revenues, building inspections, capital reserves, and so forth. That's a summary, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you, Senator Chaudhry. Any discussion on this amendment? Hearing none. All those in favor of Senator Chaudhry's amendment, is there any discussion? We're seeing none. So Senator Chaudhry moves for Senate for amendment S is in Sam, 704, A is in Amy, L is in Larry, M is in Mary, -16, version 1. All those in favor of the amendment, let it be known by saying yes.
Digital.
Yes.
All opposed? No. None. The motion passes unanimously in the opinion of the chair.
I love you and I want you to win, but I just.
Hearing no objection to my opinion, and I appreciate that. The next amendment is Senator Don Davis. S is in Sam, 704, A is in Amy, M is in Mary, V is in Victory, -46, version 1. Senator Davis, Don Davis.
Thank you so much. This is designed to address remote instruction, the remote plans, and it's set up to do two things. The first is it clarifies remote instruction is not necessarily producing learning growth that is commensurate to non-remote instruction, but in essence, it replaces it towards supporting the Ministry of STEM course of study. And then it goes on to June 30th to July the 20th. I would summarize the first part of the amendment. We raised questions earlier today in committee, and Senator Butler, our chair, co-chair or chair of the education work group, provided an outstanding explanation, and I believe this amendment is designed to do what she said it did this morning.
Thank you, Senator Davis. Any discussion on the amendment?
Mr. Chair,
Yes. Senator Ballard, please.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, members, I worked with Senator Chaudhary as well as Davis, and then some of our House members as well on this language this morning and during lunch, and would just ask for your support.
Okay. Any other discussions on the amendment? If not, Senator Don Davis moved to amend the bill with amendment number S as in Sam 704 -A as in Amy, M as in Mary, V as in Victory -46 version 1. All those in favor of the amendment, let it be known by saying yes.
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 All those opposed, let it be known by saying no. Hearing none, in the opinion of the chair, the motion is passed unanimously and will be adopted and rolled into the bill. Members, that is all the amendments the chair has at this point in time. And so I will entertain a motion that we approve the bill as amended. We have a motion by Senator Tom McInnes.
Mr. Chairman,
Oh, yes, Senator Smith. Yes, ma'am.
yes, I have an amendment that was submitted prior to the deadline. And so those amendments that did not make it by this committee time, is there going to be an opportunity to present that at a later time today?
Senator Smith, I'm being told by staff we did not have that amendment. And so, as always, you can present it on the floor.
Okay, I will send the email showing that I had the amendment request by 11 o'clock. And so I'll talk to you about that before we go on the floor.
I will be glad to speak with you, and we'll have staff there as well. Okay. Any other questions or comments before we take a vote? Hold 1 second. All right. Any other questions or discussions? Senator Tom McInnes, hearing none. Senator Tom McInnes moves unfavorable as to the original bill, favorable to the bill as amended, to be rolled into a new PCS and with leave for staff to make technical and conforming changes. Is that your motion, Senator McInnes? Okay. All those in favor, any discussion on this motion? Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion, please let it be known by saying yes.
Yes.
You like?
Yes.
I mean,
All those opposed to the motion, please let it be known by saying no. In the opinion of the chair, motion has passed and will stand as approved and move to the floor of the Senate. Members, I thank y'all for your time and your patience with me on trying to learn this new technology. Y'all were fantastic. Thank y'all, and this meeting stands adjourned. Have a good afternoon.